Hello, Neil and Sophia. Here is your sewer scope from today's inspection. There's your clean out there that was in that little utility room in the basement. Uh, Fairly typical 3-inch line, PVC. Then we go straight to cast iron. The beginning segments, there's a fairly decent number of twists and turns made for somewhat of an athletic push. Cast iron pipe does not help that as well. It's rather corroded and bumpy on the inside, which is normal, typical for cast iron to do that, especially in a 43, 44-year-old pipe. It's to be expected. I've seen a lot worse. This is, I would say, typical of what you would expect. Coming up here in just a short bit, you're going to see that root ball, that mass that I had noted when we were talking earlier today. Here it comes. There you have it. Definitely roots, and again, on the left part of your screen, that is an inlet of some sort. There's potentially a clean out. We'll talk about orientation in the pipe. Well, let's talk about it now. So where the water is, that's the bottom of the pipe, obviously. We're not defying gravity. The water is not floating in the air. It's just that I'm not using a self-leveling head for my camera. So use that for frame of reference. It doesn't really matter. Pipe's a pipe. Circumference is circumference. We want to look at the entire structure of the pipe just to make sure that there's not anything going on. But again, just so you know what up and what down is, it's where the water is. Fairly uneventful, other than just as we passed that mass of roots, there were some offsets noted in the pipe. Two sections that are slightly bent. I will key on those on the return trip. Freeze the camera on them a little bit longer. The other thing is on the backwards trip, on the return trip, that mass of roots is gone. My camera had knocked it out, pushed it out of the way, and it slid on down the rest of the pipe. We'll keep going here for probably about another 20 feet or so. That's another connection between two cast iron sections. Another one right there. There is a little bit more buildup. If you look at the top of your screen now, that whiter section, that's cooking grease, bacon fats, some other sort of fat that's congealed at the bottom of the pipe. Not overly terrible, but just something that would lead you to the idea that you'd want to clean the pipe here moving up. Okay, we hit now this blockage. I'll pull back and forth a number of times here. I'll try to push through, but I'm blocked. Pull back again. Some of the water's cleared out at that point. But again, so the water's the bottom of the pipe, and then there's that mass right there at the top of the pipe, and there is something at the bottom of the pipe that's holding the water. And now, I can't tell whether or not this is root growth or damage. What's on the top of the pipe may be roots. It may be a damaged section. I really can't tell. Down at the bottom of the pipe, there definitely appears that there's something solid there. The water obscures it, and there was going to be no pushing past it. So ultimately, my recommendation is to get somebody in there with a cable that could potentially move this if it's not again sections of pipe or other stone-like situation, whatever. But definitely something that you want to look into and figure out, what's going on here. Um, what I'll try to do here in a second is I'll pause and then I'll turn more water on in the basement. Initially, when I was pushing through the pipe, I did not have any water running. So right about now, I'm getting up from my camera, going into the basement's utility room that has the laundry sink, and I'll turn the cold water on pretty much full blast. The purpose of that is to see if I can get enough of a, let's call it a wave, where I can just kind of surf over the top of this and see if I can get past it. Ultimately, I'm not able to do that. I just can't get past this point. Get a little bit more visibility on what's going on at the top of the pipe once that water starts flowing. But again, not enough to be able to figure it out. One kind of small hunch, I told you that there is that manhole cover just to the side of the driveway. I don't see any other inlets other than that one at roughly 47 feet. At 130 feet, that may be relatively close to where that manhole cover is. If we're living good and living clean and lucky, it might just be something as simple as pulling that manhole cover up and figuring out what's going on down in that section. Maybe it's just pulling something out that shouldn't be there. All speculation. Here comes that rush of water that I was talking about. I will try again to get over it. I'll get a better look. That's me at what's looking at the top of the pipe right now. I'll go back again just so I can get a look at it, see what it appears to be. Right. That's obviously not roots. Doesn't look like a wad of paper. It definitely looks like aggregate or potentially even iron piping. So again, definitely warrants further evaluation and improvements, figuring out what's going on there. So at this stage, what I'm doing is I'm just getting some disinfectant wipes and some paper towels. I will clean off my cable as I pull back. The pauses that you'll see on the way back are just me just kind of changing out those wipes and paper towels. Again, the root ball's gone. The counter on the way back is going to say 60 feet. The number on the machine that I'm using, the counter gets skewed the more I go back and forth as I'm trying to get past something. And then again, prior to that inlet where the root ball was, you'll see some of those offsets. They almost look like they've got gasketed connections. Sometimes they'll use what are called Fernco connectors, putting two sections of pipe together that go off at an odd angle. Can't say 100% for sure that's what it is, but you can generally see kind of a black section on there, and that'll give you some indication. Right there. Push forward again. Yeah. Sometimes the hubs on pipes, there's that offset again. That's where the root ball was. Yeah. So I'll keep pulling back all the way to the end. Feel free to watch the end. As always, reach out to me with any questions.